Jonathan did the chair teleprompter thing and the next PoE 1 league isn't coming anytime soon. That's basically the message. In this video I will provide some thoughts and some perspective from my own personal life on this situation. Hope you enjoy. Some time ago I swapped to making pretty much exclusively Path of Exile solo self-found content. Reason for me to swap is that I was getting more and more jaded towards the previous game I covered, Last Epoch, and after a few pretty salty but I still think true videos, I decided I didn't want to cover a game that I didn't enjoy, a game I didn't play too much anymore, and ultimately a game I didn't really believe in anymore. I also decided I wanted to make a bit more positive content instead, because this is my hobby, not my job. We'll talk about my job soon. And part of a hobby, for me at least, is to have fun. I'm not a pessimistic person, I don't take pleasure into flaming companies or devs, and I'm not looking for games to fail. I think it's no surprise then that I have no reason to believe that Jonathan isn't honest about PoE 1, the video, the timelines he mentioned, or the reasoning behind all the decisions. I'm saying this because apparently there's some sentiment going around that he's being untruthful. I don't think he is. I'm sure people are unhappy. I am sad that we don't get new content, but I don't think Jonathan is being untruthful here. He takes responsibility, like he seemingly always does. He explains the situation. What more do you want from these guys? They're making the best 2 ARPGs on the market right now, in my opinion, within the same company. Are we really asking for more, just disregarding what was promised earlier? Because yeah, I know there were things promised earlier, also Jonathan refers to that. Yes, I would love more content for PoE 1, but that's not a realistic request right now, as the PoE 1 team is fixing PoE 2, which still has 300,000 people playing the game. That's more people playing Path of Exile 2 right now, almost 2 months after the release, than you would have at a primetime league start in Path of Exile 1. Pulling devs off of Path of Exile 2 with this many people playing and clearly still enjoying the game, thereby killing the momentum that PoE 2 has going for it, would be a terrible business decision, and Jonathan says as much. Again, I don't see why he would be lying about any of this. This all makes perfect sense from just a common sense perspective. I have another perspective though. I am working as an IT architect in big projects where hundreds of colleagues are coming together to deliver value for our customers. I do this in a big enterprise with over 20,000 employees, and my job, among other things, is to design target state architecture that covers applications that impact thousands of those employees. For example, in the contact center or in the offices or in our digital channels where we offer our products and services. It's not as creative as creating a video game, I'm sure, but when it comes to the complexity, the dependencies, the fact that so many people must collaborate, I'm pretty confident there are plenty of parallels you could draw. We have to make estimates of when these big projects and the architecture I'm drawing are implemented, and we're also working on multiple projects at the same time with the same people, and that means our resources are limited. It is a known issue that everyone, including you, the viewer, overestimates their own capabilities, especially when it comes to delivering and planning for future deliveries. That's true for your homework back in the day, that's true for finishing your PhD, that's true when you're starting a new company, and that's true with big projects in an enterprise. We, the human species, are categorically overly optimistic about our capabilities, the effort needed, the dependencies, and are easily missing a big deadline by about a 50% margin. I see this happen often, and I suffer from this optimism as well. Everyone does, each at their own situation. With GGG, it's the same. No surprise there, it's happened before with GGG, it's happening now with PoE 1, and it will happen in the future too. Because people don't actually learn from their mistakes when it comes to estimating their own capabilities, which is an interesting finding, because for most other things you do learn from past experiences. It's why some people are always late, because they keep underestimating the traffic. It's not because they think it's cool to be late, it's just that they keep falling from the same optimism instead of learning from their past experiences. All of this is to indicate that what Jonathan is saying very much lines up with my experiences working on big projects, and it is, in my opinion, a very honest description of the situation. By just changing a few words, I could make this exact video and send it to my stakeholders. Dear stakeholders, we thought we could do it, implement that architecture. We even added additional resources, but ultimately we were too optimistic in our planning. We'll fix it in the future. My sincere apologies. I will do better next time. This would be a perfectly acceptable thing to say and to send out, probably in an email instead of a video, but you get the idea. That doesn't mean it's okay. It's not okay. Delays are not cool. We want new PoE content, and I should take responsibility for such a message and actually mean it. It just means that in my view, Jonathan is being very transparent here, and he is also in fact taking responsibility. For the PoE 1 enjoyers, and I am one of those, this is a sad reality. The message, no matter what you really think about it or what you think about the truthfulness of it, the message itself is very clear. No PoE 1 leak for the foreseeable future. It's going to be at least 2 months from now, but likely more, I would expect. First, 0.2.0 in PoE 2 must come out, and while we don't know what's going to be in that league, it's going to be significant. Like a class, maybe an act, a bunch of fixes, some serious rebalancing, maybe more endgame content. It's going to be juicy. I would expect them to announce something on that soon, get our spirits up a little bit after this downer. That means a lot of development. That also means a lot of things are going to break after 0.2.0, which will need fixing, and once that is done, the PoE 1 league can start. Start being developed, that is. It's going to take on average another 6 or 8 or even more weeks until it gets released after they start development, maybe even a bit longer. So from the moment of writing, that's likely 3 to 4 months away still. Because 0.2.0 for PoE isn't even announced, let alone that the work started for 3.26. That's a long time really, without new PoE 1 content. It's gonna be close to a year. It's a long time for those enjoying PoE 1 but not enjoying PoE 2. It's a long time for those enjoying both games even, and it's the sad reality for I think the foreseeable future, because after we get 3.26, there's no way 3.27 will have the normal PoE 1 cadence for 4 months, unless they split the teams completely between the games. Based on what Jonathan is saying, that doesn't seem realistic, until at least PoE 2 officially launches their 1.0 release, so PoE 1 is slowing down and may ramp up at some point after PoE 2 1.0, but as long as Path of Exile 2 is pulling around 3 times the numbers in terms of players, I wouldn't count on too much PoE 1 content. It's a real shame, but I think very understandable. There is no other point to this video. I just wanted to give you my perspective, which may be a little bit different from, other creators that do this full time. I hope you had a good time watching the video. Let me know what you think. Also let me know if you have any suggestions. Subscribe and like for more PoE SSF content. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.